welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a worth the buy or nah concealer review on a fairly new concealer that I've had my eye on for the past few weeks because it's been very well spoken about. Not only that, it has 5 stars on Sephora, and I was like, girl, if something has 5 stars, I'm definitely gonna check it out. So I went ahead and went to my local Sephora and found the new Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Concealer. It claims to be a 12-hour wear concealer. It claims to be water resistant, crease resistant, amazing according to all the Sephora reviews who've given it 5 stars. And I cannot wait to test this out. So if you guys want to learn more about this new concealer, then please go ahead and continue watching so you can find out all the tea and whether this product right here is worth the buy or not. So keep watching. So we're going to start off with the concealer. I've heard really good things about it, which is why I wanted to do this video. So I'm just going to be testing this out. Also, if my foundation looks a little dark, it's because I'm trying the Dior Skin Forever foundation again, and I realized it's my summer shade. So I'm just gonna try to go ahead and lighten it up with my Mercier concealer. So hopefully this can just kind of lighten it up just a tad. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it. It smells like paint a little bit, but it's nothing too intense. Feels really creamy. It kind of has a wet feeling, but as you can see, it has a nice coverage. It says it's a medium coverage, so we will see how it covers. It definitely looks a little bit medium because it looks kind of sheer in some areas when I apply it, but it also feels very wet. It kind of reminds me of the Urban Decay concealer. Now I'm going to take my makeup sponge and I'm going to begin just blending that out. It does blend out very easy. I feel like it's like the perfect amount of coverage for somebody that's looking for just like an everyday use concealer that's not too heavy or too thick. That's what I'm getting out of this. I'm all about that consistency because I hate when something's too thick. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take my Airspun powder. This is the method I have to do to keep from creasing. I'm just taking my other Morphe sponge, which I use to bake. And I'm just going to be applying this right on the under eye. I'm just leaving it there to see how it does with baking. Baking is super essential for me because you guys all probably know by now that I crease a lot. So if it works well with the powder, then that's good for me because it's not going to crease easily. But if it doesn't, then it's a problem because I need something to prevent from the creasing. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And I like to do this triangle motion because I feel like it really kind of gets exactly where it needs to get. And it gives me the most coverage that I personally enjoy. Now I do have to say the Shape Tape's really nice, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of people's complaint is that it's too thick. And I agree. I actually just use Shape Tape to do my crease work on my lid whenever I cut the crease because it dries super easy and it's very pigmented, so it helps the colors look nice. But this, I like it because it's a consistency that's nice and lightweight. It feels very hydrating right now as I'm applying it onto my under eye. And it's also very like brightening. Do you see how much that brightens my under eye? I feel like it brightens it perfectly. And just a quick update on the baking. I feel like usually when something isn't gonna bake right, I start to feel really dry. This does not feel dry whatsoever. Now I'm gonna take some and highlight the high points of my face. And I'm also mainly doing this because the foundation, like I mentioned, it's a little bit darker. I just wanted to play around with this foundation today because I don't know, I was watching videos of people like raving about it and I just kind of wanted to retry it again. So I did. I actually did a review on it, I think it was last year. And that was when it was summertime that I did the review, so it was working just fine. But now that it is like the end of winter, about to be spring in a few days, I'm obviously still more on the winter skin tone side of things for me. So I have to go in and really highlight my face. And this concealer is blending beautifully with the foundation, which is another thing I like to really observe with concealer because sometimes concealers can not blend so great with foundation. So all those things really matter. Now I feel like my face is more dimensional. I feel like first it was just very like bronzy and now it's perfect. I feel like this color is really good. At least I really like it on myself. I feel like it gives me the right amount of depth and also the right amount of like highlight in certain areas. And I am going to go ahead and clean the bake. Clean the bake. This is like a key element for me to see if this is good. Okay, so I have to say it looks really good. It doesn't look cakey or anything like that. The powder didn't make it look cakey. It looks very nice and fresh. It's crease free for good, and it just looks like good skin. Like everywhere else, even where I went ahead and highlighted the forehead, it just looks phenomenal. So I'm really impressed with that. I feel like I like more so the consistency of how it feels when you're blending it out. I feel like a lot of concealers nowadays are just so thick and just so full coverage that I think that's great, but sometimes you need a concealer that's just the perfect amount of coverage, but it also feels really hydrating on the skin and also kind of adds this nice like glow to the face. Because I feel like in a way concealer has been used a lot lately to highlight the face and to bring out some features and really like enhance, and I feel like this one does a really good job of that. And I do have to say that for me, my favorite part of it all is how it feels on the skin. It just feels so good and so lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have any concealer on whatsoever. I do also like this color. I feel like 3W is a good color for somebody around my complexion. It's like has that warm tone, and it's good for people with those warm medium skin tones. So this is supposed to be a 12-hour wear concealer. Now, I'm not going to be wearing it for 12 hours. I'm probably wearing it for like 5 hours or so, 6 hours, and I'm going to see how this does and how it holds up for the rest of the day. And then I'm going to come back at the end of the day and give you guys my full thoughts. It's also crease-free and water-resistant. Now, I do have to say, like I mentioned, the reason why I bake is because nothing is crease-free on me. It doesn't matter what it says. It just doesn't work out for me. So I had to go ahead and just bake it, and it worked well with my baking technique, which if some of you guys do a lot of baking as well and have to do that in order for you to be crease free, then you know that it does work really well for those areas with the baking powder. But I'm excited to see how this performs for the rest of the day. I hope that it stays in place and looks phenomenal, because I must say this is probably one of the best formulas that I've tried. It just feels so nice and creamy, like a true creaminess, not something that's like creamy but it's like actually thick. So I will be back in a few hours and give you guys my final thoughts on whether this new Laura Mercier concealer is worth a buy or not. So I am back. It's been a very long day, and I think I have some good thoughts on this new Laura Mercier concealer. So first things first, I want to say that immediately when I see it into the mirror, it looks so nice and clean, and I feel like it looks better as time goes. I mean, it looked really good when I applied it, when I was on camera, but I feel like it still looks so good and so skin-like, even though it's been like 6 or 7 hours. So that really says something about this, because I feel like there's products that can either get worse or products that very rarely tend to get better through the day. Also, in the areas where I highlighted, it still is pretty much in place, intact, looking better than ever. But overall, I'm really impressed, and I just cannot wait to keep using this. I have to say, I think I like this formula better a lot than the Tarte Shape Tape. I feel like the Tarte Shape Tape, like I mentioned earlier, is just way too thick, and sometimes it can just break apart super easy. Even though I did do the baking method, some products tend to still crease a few hours after, but this is still pretty much crease free. So that is life. So those are all my thoughts, and if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can become a member of family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you to miss these videos for the world. And if you guys enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know to continue doing these videos, because it always helps out. So that being said, I will see you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.